Make sure, is my hard hat crooked?
Make sure you want it to be swagged out, so you gotta turn it.
We're rolling? All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. This video is going to cover my top 5 favorite PPE items, personal protective equipment. After all these years, these are the 5 things that I highly recommend and I wear either every day, or if I'm on the roof every day, then this is what I'm gonna wear. So let's get into it. All right, so item numero uno is hard hat. I don't personally know anybody that likes to wear hard hats. I think you just get used to wearing hard hats. I have spent good money on carbon fiber hard hats, tried all kinds of, usually for me hard hats, they kind of irritate my neck. The carbon fiber didn't because it was lightweight, but this wave cell hard hat, I have to say, what have we had it now for like 2.5, 3 months? Probably 3 months. It's vented and it is insanely comfortable. I mean, it looks fantastic. You might remember me from my old job on the Death Star. We manned the laser. So, hashtag bring back Alderaan. Basically what makes this hard hat special is this pattern. I'm gonna link to it because it's a whole lot more technical than I can go over. But snowboard hard hats are made with the same material. Bike helmets now are made with the same material. It's a little bit lower profile and it vents. But basically, it's just comfortable. You wanna wear a hard hat. We don't have to wear them full time, only if there's an overhead hazard. And the thing about hard hats is they're not gonna protect you from some major, like a ton of bricks falls on your head. But it's the bumps, the hard bumps that your brain gets where your brain actually will rotate inside of your skull and we can avoid traumatic brain injury. So when we have to wear hard hats, I highly recommend this. Link in the description. It is not inexpensive, but it's super comfortable. We were framing inside walls. There was no reason to wear them, but we were wearing them and no complaints. So that was item number 1? Yeah. Okay, so now we're up to item number 2. This is a personal pet peeve of mine. Eye protection. These are high-spec safety glasses. This is probably going to be a special Awesome Framers edition color. And at 45, I finally went with prescription. Really does make a difference. When Peter first reached out to me, it was just to be a beta tester and to provide feedback. And I fell in love with these. So these are what we wear on the site, and I highly recommend. They're inexpensive. There is no reason not to wear safety glasses. Side shields. When I first started in construction, it was emphasized to me to wear safety glasses because the little plastic pieces that come off of the nails, the collation on the nails, the guy that taught me to frame across the floor got a piece in his eye and it cut his cornea. And that wasn't even from him using the tool, and it actually went behind his safety glasses. So side shields, what I really like about these is that they don't come back here, they stop here, so I don't get all pinched by the end of the day. Item number 3, this is also a pet peeve of mine. Wear hearing protection. For years, I started in my early 20s wearing foam earplugs, and then 3 years ago, went to these IsoTunes. These are the IsoTunes Free. They're Bluetooth connected to my phone or music. Actually, as I was just talking, I got alerted that I have a text or an email. I can make phone calls, I can listen to music, and these do have an actual noise reduction rating, so they're OSHA compliant. Not all earbuds. Check your Apple, what are they called?
AirPods.
Earpods, the Apple earpods. Try to find the noise reduction rating. I bet you can't. I'm sure they help somewhat. But anyway, protect your hearing. There is no reason not to do that. I mean, come on. Don't be dumb. Can I still say that?
Yeah.
Okay. Like the peanut gallery says yes. Okay, that's the easy stuff for personal protective equipment. The number 4 is safety toe. I didn't wear safety toe for years. I didn't like the cold metal in the winter. Your feet would get kind of cold depending. But the carbon safety toes, overall, just wear a safety toe. You kind of get used to kicking things around. I wear Keen Utility because for my wide, flat feet, they work great. A little clownish, right? That is a safety toe. I don't think there's much more to say about that. And item number 5, personal fall arrest gear. We're going to spend some time on this, and I'm going to go through this whole setup that we're wearing. First, let me put on my high-spec safety glasses. Okay, so let's briefly talk about fall protection. First of all, I thought we were so cool that we didn't need fall protection when we're up high. I'm king of the world! That was an Office reference. That's true. We are so cool. Here's the thing, it has nothing to do, the requirements for fall protection have nothing to do with the slope of the roof. I'm on a 512 right now. We can run around on this all day. We're really not going to fall.
Hey-o. You good? Yep.
Until we do. I've never fallen off a roof. Nobody here. One person way back in 2001 slipped on some dust. Thankfully, it was a very short fall on that particular section of house, but it doesn't matter what the slope is, it matters your exposure to fall or the height. And I'm not going to get into what those rules are because they vary state by state, country by country. So when we went all in on fall arrest harnesses, this is the Super Anchor Deluxe 3D. It's got a belt that I attached pouches to. So it's kind of like a weight belt, big Velcro belt. Okay, so there's a couple things about this I want to go over. One, we went high vis because it shows up great on content on the internet. They call it the Deluxe 3D because there's some other buckles here that you can use in fall restraint. It's just comfortable. I will say I had it custom made, raising this strap 1 inch because I get nipple chafing, kind of like Andy Bernard. Seriously, it can be very painful. Here's the components of our fall arrest is spend the money on a harness that's comfortable. If you're going to be in it for hours at a time, it needs to be comfortable. The rounded edges don't chafe, so that's a lot easier. Then my shear inspection is Monday the 15th. I just got to see through my Garmin watch, but I was alerted through my my IsoTunes Free 2.0. Check the link in the description for the coupon code. Okay, so I'm attached to a vertical lifeline. This is the Deluxe Lifeline from Super Anchor Safety. It's got a prusik knot. I'll show you how that works here in just a moment. By carabiner attached to my shock absorber. Shock absorber is wrapped through my dorsal D-ring. So there's no metal parts back there except for the ring itself. And then at the ridge, I'll show the snap hook. So what you'll notice right back here is the way that it feeds through the D-ring is it's the loop on the shock absorber. And that way there's no metal hook that's bouncing between your shoulder blades. It's just tied like a necktie. So not only do you save weight, but you got nothing bouncing between your shoulder blades, just annoying or getting annoying. Same thing here. This is my shock absorber. If I was to fall in a rest, this would break open and it would slow my fall. And then I'm connected with a metal carabiner. Again, all of these are Super Anchor components, so they're all designed to work together. I'm not going to take it apart because then people would get mad that I'm no longer protected. But it's a locking carabiner. Very lightweight, high strength. So there's hardly any weight to this. This is plastic, impact resistant, so I don't have to treat it too nicely. Then this is attached by a prusik knot. You can see I'm putting tension on it and I got nowhere to go. But if I want to come, I take the tension off. On the uphill slide, and now same thing. Basically it's friction. And if I want to go uphill, put my hand on the downhill side and I just push. So as I walk up, that's all there is to it. And if I walk down, my hand on the uphill side, and as soon as I stop, you can see how that works. So again, very lightweight. The big advantage of these is that I have no metal parts that get all gummed up. And my goal is to stay in fall restraint as much as possible, which means I can't go over the edge. Fall arrest, you have to limit your fall because you're still going to get injured pretty good. Fall protection is super annoying, let's all be honest, but you get used to it. You just get used to moving it around your feet. And as I go uphill, the last thing is just part of the system. We wrap these around the ridge. The black is chafe guard. It's sad to say, but we had an inspection by safety. They had just investigated an accident the week before where somebody did not have the chafe guard and this was wrapped around concrete. The person fell. The edge on that concrete just sheared the strap. That person died. All safety rules are written in blood. So you think about that. We get safety rules after somebody has lost their life or suffered pretty serious harm. So you really can't oversell it. We just want to pick choices that are super comfortable. Okay, so we've got a harness that's comfortable. We're all connected up. We've bought all the components, none of which are cheap, but then again, our life is worth quite a bit. We have to have an anchor point that is rated to take fall protection loads. For us, because we hand cut our roof, we can sling these around the ridge, and then our snap hook will click into that. I'll show that in just a minute. Again, very simple. You just wrap it around the ridge through the loop, and then snap hook to this. And here's how that works. So it's wrapped around the ridge, and then snap hook. And it's a locking snap hook, so you can see you can't just, you have to engage it. Okay, then we'll do B-roll. Let me just add one thing I want to mention. Okay, there's one thing I do want to mention about fall protection, and it's the excuses that we all make for not using it. Harnesses aren't that fun. We like to bring our hoses for our nailers from the eaves, our ropes from the top, that helps. But you also have to get used to walking a certain direction on the roof. Every time you twist, all of this stuff ends up, you know, if I'm working and then I'm working, you know, after a while, I end up with knots. You know, it just becomes a tangled mess. You've probably heard people, and maybe you've said, well, that more people get injured tripping on a rope. That's a lie. There are no statistics that show that, and if you can find them, please show me. That's an excuse that I used to make too. Like, well, I'm gonna trip over this. We don't trip over this, and here's how I can prove that. For years, we had an extension cord per framer and a nailer per framer. So if we had 4 framers, that's 4 extension cords, 4 hoses. And guess how often we tripped? We learned to step around that stuff. Don't make excuses. Also, there's the first man up rule. So do some research into competent person. The fact of the matter is somebody's got to come up first and clip into this. That just becomes part of your written fall protection plan. If you're really smart, you sling it, you put your rope on before the roof is even sheathed, and you throw the rope. Now you have access, and there was no first man up. That's the other thing we like about these is from a ladder, we can actually set the anchors, and if we're on it, then we can throw the rope. But do the research on that. Make sure let's just stop making excuses. I know I sound like that cantankerous old guy because I am that cantankerous old guy. Been through enough safety training now. I've resisted it for way too many years. Just get used to it. And like I said earlier in the video, it really comes down to picking products that are comfortable to use, and then we can just use it and forget about it. Our eyes are protected, our hearing is protected, our toes are protected, and our life is protected. Just because we don't hit the ground doesn't mean we're not going to have some other injuries, so you got to use fall protection intelligently. Now, if you could do me one giganto favor, please comment below with what your recommendations are or your favorite items for PPE are. Because I'm sure I've missed something. Lord knows, the more comfortable it is, the more likely we are to wear it. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.